Hi, greetings to you all. My name is Rita. This is a continuation of the sickle cell awareness video. This is video 9. On this video, we'll be busting some myths about sickle cell. There have been, on the topic of sickle cell, there have been several myths about sickle cell in general. So I'll be debunking some of those myths about sickle cell. When it comes to sickle cell, there is this myth that has been going on for a very long time that people with sickle cell don't live long. That is actually a lie. People with sickle cell can actually live a long life, not just long life, a fulfilled and productive long life with proper care, of course. Sure, it's unfortunate that some people didn't make it through infancy, some didn't make it through their adolescent age, some didn't make it throughout their adult age, but that does not mean people with sickle cell cannot live a long and fulfilled productive life. You actually can live a long and fulfilled productive life with proper care. And also, God is the author of life, not the devil, not sickle cell. But that's not the case for you. That will be the case for you if you allow it to happen. Yes, I insist, allow it to happen. As for me, I'm not allowing that to happen. I have chosen to live, and I have chosen to reign, and I've chosen to rule, and I'm going to do that. And you as well can choose to live if you want to, or if you want to, you know, resign your faith to the myths that are out there, then go ahead and do that. As for me, I choose to live. I have seen people live, and I choose to live. Also, myth number 2, that sickle cell is contagious. Well, that's not just a myth, that's also a big lie. Sickle cell is not contagious. It cannot be spread or passed around from one person to another. You cannot sneeze it onto another person. It is a genetic disorder that affects someone whose parents both has the sickle cell gene. So it is not contagious. It has never been contagious, and it will never be contagious. Sickle cell is inherited. It is not spread. So understand that it is inherited. It is not spread like most people think. Another myth that sickle cell affects poor people. That's another myth, and that's a lie. It does not affect poor people. Sickle cell is not a respecter of persons. Like I said, this is a genetic blood disorder that is inherited by the kid. If both parents have AS gene, they have a very good chance that their kid or some of their kids is going to be sickle cell, meaning that kid inherited the sickle gene from both parents. So it's not a thing. It's not a thing of poor people's sickness. No, it affects all people from all walks of life. If you're poor and you have the sickle cell gene, both parents have sickle cell gene, they'll likely have a sickle cell baby. If you're rich and have a sickle cell gene and you get married, both of you, you likely have a sickle cell baby. So it's not about poor people situation. It's just unfortunate that the people who are poor, who have sickle cell baby, they tend to face a lot more challenge with the whole sickle cell situation because it is financially heavy on them, and most of them find it difficult to give proper care to their kid with the sickle cell disease. For those who have the money, they easily handle that care for their kid without breaking a sweat. So it's not a rich man or it's not a poor man kind of thing. That is why I continue to insist for people to know their genotype so that you know how to go about when having kids. Even if you're not ready for kid and the kid come by wedlock, you're certain that your baby won't come out with a sickle cell blood disorder and will not suffer. And you spare that child all the trauma and the pain and whatever comes with the disease. And let's say if you're poor, like people say poor, you won't have to go, your child won't have to suffer. You have to stress or suffer to get proper medication for that kid. So I don't know if it makes sense for some of you. I hope it makes sense because that's going to actually do you a lot of good and do your kids a lot of good in the future. Also, there's another myth. Growing up, there was a lot of myth growing up. Like there are a lot of myth. This one would say people there's this myth that goes around say for persons with sickle cell, once you've once you have reached adulthood, you stop having crisis or you will stop having frequent crises like you used to have before. That is a big lie. Crises don't stop, irrespective of your age or whichever age you get to attain in future. Crisis will not stop. It will keep coming. Now, on the intensity and the frequency in which you have crises, that can be that can be influenced based on how well you take good care of yourself. If you take proper care of yourself like you should, it's going to influence how frequent and how intense the pain you get when you indeed get crisis. That's that. And also there's this myth that was going on, and I think some people still believe it today. This myth that if you have a if you as a for a female for the females, if you give birth to a child, your crisis is going to stop. You're not going to have crisis no more. That's another lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Having a baby is not going to stop you from having sickle cell crisis. It's not going to change your genotype and stop you from having sickle cell crisis. Actually, having a baby, that will be the most challenging period of your life because you're literally carrying a person inside of you. And as a mother, you share your blood with that kid. So the kid needs blood that derives from you to grow, as well as food. And you yourself need your own blood to function properly. And the kid is pulling from you, it will cause you to go anemic all the time and real quick. So that's a delicate period in your life as a person with sickle cell who has decided to have a baby. So that's why you have to be extremely careful. So you subjecting yourself to pregnancy makes you become more vulnerable than ever before. And if you're going through that process, make sure you're ready for it, not just financially, just psychologically, emotionally, physically as well, but make sure you're prepared for it health wise. That's you have team of doctors on standby at any moment. Have your nutrition intact because you have to be your blood has to be steady, constant, so that I don't have any risk of anything that will provoke crisis at any moment. But you're most vulnerable. You can have crisis literally every week, every day, or every week, or every month throughout the period. Because and hell, get prepared for constant blood transfusion, if not every week or every month or after some months. It just depends on the severity of what the pregnancy will do to you. You now know what pregnancy will do for you. Pregnancy affects every woman differently. Some blossom and thrive, and some they get sicker and sicker. So it's just different with everybody, and yeah, different somehow. So make sure you're really prepared for that. It's a lot. Be prepared for that. So pregnancy, don't say having a kid or you should go ahead and having a baby is going to stop you from having sickle cell crisis in the future. It will not. It will not at all. Get that, understand that so that it makes sense. For those of you who are thinking or who have been told that having a baby is going to stop you from having sickle cell crisis or treat your sickle cell, it's not going to. Just know that I'm telling you now, it's not going to treat your sickle cell. It's not going to stop you from having crisis. And now coming out to yeah, it's not going to stop you from having crisis. What you can do though, you can help boost up those blood percentages up low. You put yourself aside from the blood medication that pregnant women take and the one that you as a sickle cell person take, which is the folic acid. You can go ahead and make other concoctions that will help to boost blood production for you. Okay, now moving on to some of this concoction. Another myth that so many people have gone through a lot of torture, a lot of trauma. Take this one. This medication will cure sickle cell. This medication will cure sickle cell. I know of this person that has taken this medication and it has cured their sickle cell. That is a big lie. It has not. The fact that they don't have crisis frequently doesn't mean they don't have crisis at all. They do. But what does medication do or does for you or for people is that it helps build it helps to build up their blood percentage. And when your blood is up and steady, your risks of having crisis are very low. Very, very low. So that is what it does for you, and that is what it has been doing for those people. But as for curing the sickle cell, it has not, and it has never. Don't let anybody fool you. I'm not saying this to discourage you from taking some of those concussions. Take them to help boost up your blood production, but don't take them to put yourself under torture, because there are some that when you take it, you literally feel like passing out or dying. Subjecting yourself to torture in the name of treatment, don't do that. Stick to what suits you. Don't do what stresses your body the more or causes your blood to drop even the more, because they say it cures sickle cell. It does not. The only cure for sickle cell, just so you know, the only cure for sickle cell is bone marrow transplant and gene therapy. That is the only cure for sickle cell. For those who are opportune to have that, fine, they go ahead, go through the process, and after the treatment, after 6 months under observation, they are fine. No more sickle cell. Their bone marrow start producing normal red blood cells, and they don't go through sickle cell pain no more. They don't, because their bone marrow now produce normal red blood cells. So sickle cell for those people is history. The treatment is out there. Those who are in America and other European countries, they have that advantage and leverage to make use of that treatment, to go for that treatment. They have the advantage. For you who the treatment is far fetched, you still should not be discouraged. Miracles happen every day. You can be that fortunate person that will have that advantage to get that treatment done. But if it doesn't come your way, you don't have it, still good. You can still live a fulfilled and productive life, and a happy one. Just make some changes and prioritize your health, and you'll be able to live a fulfilled and productive life, and a happy one too. So, and I'm sure there are other myths out there. So many myths about sickle cell, not having crisis or not stopping crisis for you. Well, all those myths are wrong. They are lies even. And when it comes to diet, this is the biggest. Oh my God, I've gone through torture and trauma. This is the biggest for me. Some will tell you, you're not supposed to eat certain foods. This one is having starch. This one is having blah, blah, blah. You're not supposed to eat this one. It's not good for you. Well, just so you know, eat anything and everything you can eat. Regular diet is just fine. You don't need to have a wonderful diet, or regular diet is fine. The only thing you have to make sure is present in your regular diet is a lot of protein. I say this with so much passion because I went through torture, a lot of torture. Tell me, don't take this one, don't take this one. It's not good for you. Everybody will come and put whispers in the ears of my parents, and they will swing to action based on what that person said. They didn't even care how it made me feel, or the torture it put me through, or if I thought those things were true. But just because they love me and they care so much and wanted to help, thinking that it will help me, they swing into action to carry out certain things people said it will help. It will help this one, help this one, help. No. Stick to what best work for you. Don't put your child through trauma and torture in the name of treatment. Don't. Or in the name of diet. Don't restrict your child's diet in the name of diet or what is best. No, regular diet is fine. Just make sure they have a lot of protein on their regular diet. You can also add protein powder, add it, that will help. So that's just it. There's so many other myths. What people think or said, don't yell based on hearsay. Do what? That's why there's so many varieties out there when it comes to meal, when it comes to protein, when it comes to medication. The way it will work for you is not the way it will work for me. But stick to what best work for you. And then emphasize on that, like amplify on that and make it work. And when your child is in crisis, parents, I'm begging you, when your child is in crisis, especially the ones back home, don't torture them in the name of, I cannot give you medication now because you are not eating. You tell me, who can eat in intense pain? Nobody. There's no way you eat when you're under intense pain. It cannot happen. You can only eat when you're fine and calm. That's the only time you will even be able to eat. Don't say, no, I'll not give you that. You have to eat something. You have to eat something. And your child is getting, is wallowing and screaming in pain, torture. Give that child medication. When the pain goes quiet, the body calms down, the child will eat. Don't make your child go through torture in the name of, you must eat first before I give you medication. I went through that. It wasn't the best. I didn't have a choice. I did not have a choice. When I came this way, I, I've had crisis before I've gone to the hospital. Yeah, the main priority and focus is to handle that pain. Take care of that pain. When that pain is handled, then food can come later. I will sit. I don't even have the strength to even sit and eat. Or to even lift a finger. Not talk less of shoving the food and the person to swallow. That person cannot even concentrate to eat. And nobody will bother themselves. No, they will not encourage and nudge you. They will bring the food in the morning, they take it back. They bring it in the one in the afternoon, they take it back. They bring the evening, they take it back. They just say, no, you must eat before we give you pain medication. If that pain lingers in their body for too long, it leaves room for infection. That's one thing you don't know. So don't torture your child again. Don't. Focus on their well-being first. Food will come later. When you feel better, you can eat all the food in the world. Of course. So that's just what I have to share with you, based off experience too, and what actually is true and what actually is not true. So parents, don't just jump on every whim on here, say this one will help. No. Make sure what you're actually doing is the right thing. Don't torture your children. And also, all these myths you've been hearing about, they are not true. So stay blessed and keep being informed. And go ahead and share. Go ahead and like. If you have any question, you drop it in the comments and I will answer. Thank you.